Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. You know the drill. I'm in the studio. I'm not at Old Trafford, which means it's live. So get involved in the comments and the chat and let us know what you think about all the latest Manchester United stories, all the latest news. And if you've got any stories, if you are ITK, then get involved and let us know what's going down. We're going to be talking about Paul Mitchell. We're going to be talking about some guy called Paul Labille something. We're going to be talking about Darwin Nunez because United apparently in the hunt for the prolific striker. So we'll be talking about all that. If you're not doing, subscribe to the channel. There should be a link in the description and in the chat, so you can't miss it. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 700,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the season. With your help and support, we can do it. Right, let's get into it. Let's start with Paul Mitchell, because this is a story that's been doing the rounds now for a few weeks. He was pictured with Ralph Rangnick at Old Trafford, and everyone went, oh, look at Paul Mitchell at Manchester United. Now, he's very well thought of as a sort of football person. He's someone that's overseen transfers and scouted and been instrumental at clubs like Monaco, like Spurs, at Southampton as well, where he's helped to get some big deals over the line, and he's sort of highly regarded in football circles as someone who can come into a club and have a positive impact and can help get you some decent transfers and knows about how to get deals over the line. Steve did a video on it. Well, we had a podcast and Steve's done a video on it on our channel. It is up. Go and check it out. He's just chatting about Paul Mitchell. You know what Steve's like? He's a proper little geek in it when it comes to sort of coaching and managing and all that sort of stuff, and directors of football and all that jazz. So he's someone who knows a bit about him. He knew like his history. So go and check that out. Now, Florian Plettenberg, who's been on this channel, he's a good guy. He's tweeted, Monaco's sporting director, because that's where he's currently based, is open to leave the club in the summer. Both Ralph Rangnick and Erik ten Hag pushing his move to United. They should have made strong recommendations and proposed him as a technical director. But other people basically are against this idea. To avoid misunderstandings, this is his follow-up tweet, it was spoken about one position for Mitchell. Some call it technical director. The others say head of recruitment. Because I think Darren Fletcher's currently the technical director. John Murtagh is the director of football. Now, there is talk of another person coming into that fold as either assistant to John Murtagh or head of recruitment or whatever. And it looks like both Ten Hag and Ralph Rangnick want to see Paul Mitchell feeling that role. I don't know a lot about Paul Mitchell, but from what I've heard, I like what I hear. And for what people who I respect are saying, it looks like it'd be a positive move. And it's another footballing person involved in footballing decisions. And I'm all about that. We've not had that for far too long at Manchester United. As soon as Sir Alex Ferguson left and retired, we should have changed the structure massively. We shouldn't have just replaced Fergie with Moyes and David Gill with Ed Woodward. It didn't work that. It was a stupid move because Ed Woodward had zero experience of football. He had zero knowledge of football. He was just a yes man to the Glazers, helped broker the deal that saw them take over the club and put us in all that debt. So they gave him the keys to the kingdom when he should have been banished, basically. So he took over and didn't know what he's doing. You also had a manager who's out of his depth. It was a terrible combination. Then, we didn't back him properly. Then you have the summer where Van Gaal comes in. You throw a load of money at him. Again, there's no structure. There's no philosophy. I don't say that word. Van Gaal had his own philosophy. But there's no strategy, I should say. And it's just a mess. And it's been like that since 2013, since the summer of 2013. This sounds like more of a modern approach to running a football club. Now, it's great. It's 9 years too late, but it's great. It's finally happening. And I think Paul Mitchell would be a welcome addition to the Manchester United staff. Get involved in the comments and let me know what you think. Nanye West, who's been a member of the Academy for 5 months, we appreciate your support, bro. Says, morning, Jay. Hope you're well. Love the channel and these streams. Thank you. And we appreciate your support. We've had so much support over the last 18 months since we started this channel. As, Stretford Paddock, we took it over. I've been overwhelmed by the support of everyone who's watching, who's commenting, who's subscribing, who's a member, or people who just do watch us now and again. Any sort of involvement has been much welcome. Zachary Purvis says, Jay, thank you so much for these shows. 5:32 a.m. in Ohio. I love the fact, right? He's put in Ohio and then he's put in brackets USA. He obviously knows that I failed GCSE geography, so he's right to do that, innit? And I wake up early just to watch these videos. Best source for news on United. Thank you, Zachary. Have a look at some of the other comments as well. Jay Loveday. Jay Motty is OG on this channel. Thank you, brother. Miguel Costa says, Darwin for 80 million. Forget it. Go get Ruben Neves and Pedro Porro from Sporting. I will get to the Darwin Nunez story. Tom Andrews says, Fletcher doesn't need to be there. Red Rhubarb, never rub another man's rhubarb, says, Fletcher doesn't need to be there. There's been a few stories, haven't there, with Darren Fletcher recently. There was this sort of interview with Ralph Rangnick, or there was a report, Ralph Rangnick wasn't happy with Darren Fletcher's activities on the touchline. He felt like he was taking a lead and shouting at players and giving instructions, and he didn't want him to do that. He was surprised that he was doing that. And I think this is sort of spilled over from the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time. Then there was a sort of another story that came out that Ralph Rangnick isn't against Darren Fletcher being involved in the first team. He likes Darren Fletcher, but he just doesn't want him to be as hands-on in the match day in the dugout. I mean, I like Darren Fletcher. He was a great player for Manchester United. Went through a lot, didn't he, with his health issues, but always gave his all. He was one of those players that had to fight to get to the level where he needed to be. And you remember the 2009 Champions League semi-final where he got sent off against Arsenal, and people look at that and go, had he stayed, had he not been suspended for the final, we would have had a better chance against Barcelona. Some say we would have won it. I don't know if we would have won it, but we certainly missed him. And I've always respected him. You'd think he'd have the respect of the players, or you never know with this lot at the minute. But there's talk that maybe, things aren't quite rosy with him and Rangnick. But we'll have to wait and see what happens moving forward. I think Darren Fletcher, I think it's easy for people to just start pointing fingers. People did it with Kieran McKenna, did it with Michael Carrick. Now it seems Darren Fletcher. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but you do know that Darren Fletcher is a football man. He does know Manchester United. He does care about the club. And he is someone who had to sort of fight to get to the top. And I like that doggedness and that determination. And I think it could serve Manchester United well. Mike 93, who's been a member of the first team for 9 months, say, morning, Jay. Gotta say, I implore you, keeping us entertained and staying upbeat during this dreadful season. Keep up the great work. Much love. Feeling the positivity, guys. Love it. King Po King says, Anthony from Ajax. Yeah, we have been linked with Anthony from Ajax. Quite a lot, haven't we, over the last few months? I think people are looking at it and going, he's one of the stars of that Ajax team. Ten Hag's obviously coming from Ajax. It makes sense that if United went and got him, also Anthony I don't think would cost a fortune. I think he'd be around 50 million quid-ish. Quid-ish, isn't that when he playing Harry Potter? But that's my second Harry Potter reference in 2 days. I mean, Mrs. is a big Harry Potter fan, she'll be loving that. But yeah, it's like, it seems like he's gettable and it kind of makes sense. But we'll wait and see. Like I said yesterday, we've been linked with anyone who's ever even Googled Ajax, let alone played from him. So we'll have to wait and see. But Paul Mitchell, anyway, he could be heading to the Old Trafford dugout, backroom staff, whatever you want to call it. We'll keep you posted as and when we hear anything about that one. Now, we've not had a Paul Emile Pogba story for about 12 minutes, so let's have one. And this is quite shocking. There you can see. That's the most shocking headline I've ever witnessed in my entire life, including 10 years as a news journalist. Paul Pogba leaves WhatsApp group. I mean, do you know what? Have you ever done that? Left the WhatsApp group? I had a row once with certain members of my family and left the family WhatsApp group. And then I had to go back in it and I had to ask to be put back in it when I calmed down. But yeah, Paul Pogba's apparently left the United WhatsApp group. Not because he's had a row about a barbecue like I did with my family, but he's leaving. He's leaving United, so he may as well leave the WhatsApp group. It says here in the Mail, I've got it, but he's in all the papers. Paul Pogba leaves Man United WhatsApp group after telling teammates he's off this summer with 2 contract offers already amid Real Madrid and PSG interest. Days after saying Old Trafford career is not over. So he's basically on his way out. And we've been saying this for a little while, haven't we? It doesn't sound like, for me, that Paul Pogba was going to sign a new deal. If he was going to sign a new deal, you'd think he'd have already done it by now. I know there was sort of rumours going around on Twitter that he had, and one of the lads who sort of started these rumours or had this information, I know him, Scott. But from the majority of reports I've read, it looks like Paul Pogba's going to go. Why would he wait so long? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to play a bit of hardball with his contracts. It seems to me just incredibly unlikely we're going to see Paul Pogba in a United shirt again. The contract expires in the summer. 89 million quid club record signing looks certain to leave. Whichever way you sort of sit on the Paul Pogba debate, and it's difficult to just sort of be somewhere in the middle. It seems that you either have one extreme, Paul Pogba, where you think he's the greatest player in the history of association football, or you have the other extreme where you think he's the worst signing Manchester United have ever made. You can be somewhere in the middle. which is kind of where I am. I think Paul Pogba is a very talented player. We've seen some great games from him, not enough of them. Yes, there's been times when he hasn't had the best players around him, but there's also been times when he himself could have and should have done better. Now, forgive me, you think that's sitting on the fence. I just think that's a logical explanation and assessment for me of Paul Pogba's time at Manchester United. I've been a little bit underwhelmed. I just have. I was in awe of him in the academy team. I used to go and watch the academy when it was the likes of him, Ravel Morrison, Ryan Tunnicliffe, who I used to love, and Jesse Lingard, of course. And we won the Youth Cup in 2011, wasn't it? So thought he was a great player. There was always the inclination he didn't want to stick around. We got him from Le Havre. They weren't happy about that. There was always there was a bit of sort of tetchiness with him in Fergie, and it was like he hadn't put pen to paper. Then there was these rumours, he's going to stay, he will sign a deal. He ended up going to Juve. We buy him back from Juve. We let him go to Juve for free. We buy him back for £89 million, and now he's going to leave for free. That is shambolic business, and that just shows you how inept Manchester United have been with transfers and a strategy. There's nothing wrong with spending big money on a player. We've done it in the past, but you have a plan for that player. You know what you're going to do with him. And not only do you have a plan for that player, you have a contingency if he doesn't sign a new deal. We haven't had one. We haven't replaced Paul Pogba. If we had a plan for him leaving, we'd have replaced him. We haven't. Bruno's not a replacement. 9 times out of 10, they played together. So it's just been ridiculous the way we've handled the Paul Pogba situation. And we're now left with an £89 million black hole in our... saying our transfer budget or our accounts, whatever. I mean, the Glazers take more than that out, don't they? But the point is, it's just not worked out. Jed Loveday says, you going to Youth Cup final? I am. Manchester United playing Nottingham Forest on May the 11th at Old Trafford. 28, I think, 1,000 tickets have been sold already. I think it's 28,000. Phenomenal, that, for an FA Youth Cup final. Probably more are going to go. Well, obviously more are going to go. So if you can get down there, get down there. We'll be down there. We've been covering the youth all season. You know, Dave Pritt's been going to games. We've been, Alex Bagley's been there as well. We've been doing bits and pieces from those games. It's been a rare bit of positivity in a season of awfulness, the Youth Cup run. And we've not won the FA Youth Cup since 2011. I think we're the joint, or the top holders of it. I think we have the record of most wins in the FA Youth Cup. But we've had a bit of a barren spell. So it would be great to see the likes of Alejandro Garnacho, Charlie McNeil, and Sam Mather and a few others, Kobe Mainu and all the rest of it. I mean, I could go for the entire team. You've got a team full of great players there. If they can win the FA Youth Cup, hopefully that'll be the stepping stone towards them playing a part in Manchester United for years to come, because we've had some great players come through our academy. We've had great players come through our academy who haven't got near an FA Youth Cup win. So, to win it or to get to the final is fantastic. To win it, even better. And we'll hopefully have some future stars there. Shanlon86 says, my day doesn't begin until Jay does the news. Thank you. 86 Bat says Ghana, and then one of those things. What they call them? What are them? What do you call them? The producer Callum's just said F knows. Thanks, for that. Yeah. Anyway, he said Ghana, Pogba. I like James Garner, mate. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the first team next season. I think he deserves a chance. Whether he'll get one or not remains to be seen. We don't know. Because, according to several reports, we're about to buy 85 midfielders. Zachary Purvis says, read last night that Bruno is just the Russell Westbrook of the Prem, and I haven't seen a more true statement. Always trying the Hollywood shot pass. Is it wrong that I don't know who Russell Westwood is? Does anyone know who Russell Westwood is? Yeah. Who is he? He's a basketball player. Is he any good? Yeah. Well, apparently he's a basketball player. And he's decent, so there you go. CJ Legend 89 says, Nunez is too expensive. Would rather get Skamaka from Sassuolo. He would cost only 30 million quid. He's a 23-year-old version of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Let's get to 500 likes. And also, if you're not doing, hit subscribe. There should be a subscribe link in the chat. Hit the subscribe button. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers. Aaron Gooden 22 says, another leak. Yep, it does seem like we are at Leak FC. Ronan he says, my sister always leaves ours every time she gets mad, lol. Yeah, leaving the family group chat. We've always done that. We've all done that, sorry. King Po King says, Pogba is toxic. Someone else says, how is this even news? Yeah, I mean, it does seem a little bit dramatic. I think it's just indicating that he's on his way in it, and it's another sort of step towards Paul Pogba eventually leaving Manchester United, because the saga's just gone on and on and on, hasn't it? Right, should we talk about transfers? Should we talk about Darwin Nunez? Yep. There's a story doing the rounds. There's one in ESPN. It says Man United head lengthy queue chasing Benfica striker Nunez. Now this kid, he's on fire, isn't he? Darwin Nunez. He's 22 years old. He's from Uruguay, if anyone cares about that. And I think his record this season is somewhat stupid. Let me just bring it. I think about 33 goals or something. 33 goals in 39 games. So he's doing all right, isn't he? At scoring and that. Kind of knows where the back of the net is. Some people may look at it and go, okay, Portuguese football, it's not the best indicator of whether a player is very, very elite level. But you look at a lot of players have come through Portuguese football and gone on to great things. And a lot of them have come from Benfica as well. So I don't look at that too, I don't sort of dismiss that. I think he's got a great record. He's obviously a young lad. You'd expect him to progress. We need a striker. We are crying out for a striker. We've got all sorts of issues up front. We've basically got a 37-year-old who's our only goal scorer. Mason Greenwood, we don't know if he's ever going to kick a ball for Manchester United again. There's a good chance he probably won't. Anthony Martial, gone out on loan, done nothing. If he comes back, do I think he's going to be rejuvenated? Probably not. Marcus Rashford, if you can even class him as a striker, which I wouldn't, his record this season has been woeful. Jadon Sancho's not a striker. Anthony Langer's not a striker. So we need a striker. Oh, and there's that guy, Edison Cavani, who's, sat somewhere, sat on a, Lilo drinking pina coladas. Well, I don't know if he's in Manchester, he's probably not, is he? But you never know. So we need a striker for next season, because we're in all sorts of trouble. Nunez seems to fit the bill, but there is a bit of a fly in the ointment. He's being chased by a host of English clubs. So, apparently, other clubs credited with interest. This is their words, not mine. Credited with interest. You can make of that what you will. Arsenal, if he's got any sense. I mean, yes, they're above us in the league, but come on, they're not. Arsenal aren't as big a club as Manchester United. We all know that. Liverpool, they're all right, I suppose, but do they need him? Are they going to go all out for him? They've got Jota's doing bits there. They've got Firmino. I think Origi's leaving, but he barely gets a kick anyway. So I don't know. Are they going to go out for Nunez? Maybe, maybe not. And also Man City. And it also says, though the latter two moving could rely on Mo Salah leaving Anfield and Erling Haaland turning down a move to Etihad. Yeah, it looks like City going to get Haaland. I've had that impression for a little while. And also, Liverpool just got an abundance. They're the opposite of us in the minute, and I take no pleasure in saying that. They've got an absolute smorgasbord of strikers and attackers that can score goals. So are they going to go all out for Nunez? I'm not so sure. Now, the price for him is quoted as being around 100 million euros. But it's said that Benfica are holding out for 130 million euros. Now, have United got 130 million euros to spend on one player? No. Maybe 100 million euros. Maybe there is some sort of deal that could be done there nearer to that. Maybe not quite that. Maybe it's like, okay, a little bit like we did with Jadon Sancho. That's around 84 million quid. We give you, say, 50 million now and 34 million in instalments over the next 4 or 5 years. Maybe United can budget for that. I don't know, I'm guessing, I'm hoping, because I feel we need a striker and I feel like he fits the bill. We'll have to wait and see. There's lots going on. Obviously, Jorge Mendes, I think, is he still Ronaldo's agent? I think he is. So there is a relationship there with Manchester United. Maybe that can help. We'll have to wait and see. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about the kid, Darwin Nunez. Do you want to see him at Manchester United? Do you know a lot about him? I'm going to pretend I know a lot about him. I don't watch Benfica every week. Zachary Purvey says he's a great basketball player, just tries to be fancy. I think he's still talking about Westwood kid. Sri Hari Kalyan says, Jay, are you from India or Indian origin? I'm not. I'm mixed race, right? Where me father's side of the family is from the Caribbean and mum's side of the family is from Ireland and England, but there is a little bit of Asia in there as well on my mum's side, so a little bit of a mixed bag, shall we say. Thanks for asking. Ray Sam says, Jay, is it true Ten Hag wants pre-season Pirlo back at United? Who is pre-season Pirlo? Yes. I don't know if you heard it there, but Lewis, social media executive, just shouted it out. Is Andreas Pereira. Pre-season Andreas Pereira is one of the best players you'll ever see from Manchester United. That's why I call him pre-season Pirlo. Season Andreas Pereira, not so much. Probably one of the worst players who's played 30 games in a season for us. So, yeah, there's talk that Erik ten Hag wants to bring Pereira back. He was going to go to Flamenco, wasn't he, Pereira? He's been out on loan there. There was talk of them bringing him in for about, I don't know, 30 million quid or whatever. That's fallen through, so he's going to come back to Manchester United. I don't think he's got a future at Manchester United. I don't. I think he's had a lot of chances, Andreas Pereira. You know, this isn't a kid who's barely played for us. He went out on loan several times. Then under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he had one season where he played 40 games. There was a season where he played 22 games in all competitions. The following season, he played 40 games. And I said it at the time, so I'm not, I'm just I'm not rewriting what I said. But I said at the time, I don't recall a player of such limited ability having that many games for Manchester United. I've seen worse players for Manchester United than Andreas Pereira. I've seen a lot worse players, but I've never seen him reach 40 games in a season. That's a lot of football for Manchester United when you're not really at the level we need you to be at. He's just not. So he's gone out on loan. He's had several loan spells. He went to Granada years ago. He went to Valencia. He went to Lazio. He's been at Flamenco for 2 seasons. He's done okay there. Hasn't got a permanent deal. Going to come back in the summer. And he's 26 years old. So he's still got a few years left in him. But I don't see a future United. I think Donny van der Beek's probably got a better chance of having a future at Manchester United than Andreas Pereira. Who knows, though? New manager, new start. You never know. I just feel it's very, very doubtful. BM says, Luis Diaz flying for LFC. He is from Portugal League. Exactly. There's loads of... Ronaldo came from the Portuguese League. Bruno came from the Portuguese League. Nani came from the Portuguese League. That's just United players. And you look at all the others as well. There's loads of players that have come from, Ruben Diaz has come from the Portuguese League. There's loads. Benfica in particular have got some good players as well that have come through there. 86 bats at Salford lad in Melbourne, or Melbourne even. I don't know, I've called it Melbourne. We're having a few drinks in July. Yes, we'll be over there for the pre-season tour. I'll be having a few OJs with you if you're about. 86 bat, Salford lad. 2 Salford lads were over there. Yeah, other people, Lindelof, Edison came from there. Yeah, there's loads of players. I mean, it's almost irrelevant, isn't it? When we've had players from there before who've done all right, or we haven't. Do you know what I mean? You can get a player from anywhere who can be amazing. It's not necessarily an indication that just because they've come from a certain league or a certain club, they're going to be good. I'll just say that Benfica have a good record with players who've gone on to do good things at the other clubs they've gone to. So hopefully, if we do get Nunez, he can continue in that vein. I'm going to round it up there. If you're not doing, subscribe to the channel. And I've been keep hammering about this, but we want people to subscribe to the channel. We've got loads of great content coming up. Got loads of great content already there. If you subscribe, and you get the notification as well when we go live, when we're announcing transfers, when we're giving you the latest updates. So make sure you are hitting the subscribe button and getting your notifications as well. This has been the Paper Talk. Thanks for everyone who got involved in the comments. Loads of great chat and comments as well. It's always much appreciated. We're back later on. We've got all sorts coming up. We're going to have, obviously, the preview. We've got the Chelsea game, haven't we, on Thursday. It's going to be there. We've got the watch-along for that as well, when the game's on. We're also going to have Paddock live this week. We've got an interview with Henry Winter coming up as well, which is going to be a live one, I think. I shouldn't say that next. I'm not even spoke to him about doing it live. So you'll be able to get involved in that as well, get his thoughts on everything. Thanks for all your support. As always, Abby J. This has been the Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.